First question's from Alana Rizzo. Go ahead, Alana.
Morning, Dave. Yesterday you had mentioned you wanted to see Alex Wood build upon his previous outing. What did you see in his 5 2/3?
Number one, it was good to build him up, get him into that sixth inning. I thought Alex was good. You know, he competes as he always does. I thought early he left some balls up, and you know when there's obviously no scouting. You're trying to work on pitches, and he got ambushed a couple times with some balls up in the zone. But I thought that he settled in, and the changeup was good, the slider was good at times, and the fastball velocity good. So I thought it was a positive outing for Woody.
How much fun are you having with the trash talking that perhaps you're privy to all the time in a game, but when there's nobody in the stands, we get to hear some of the fun banter as well?
It's a lot of fun, and I don't, being in the dugout, I get some of it, but this is exponentially fun for me as well. And so I think that right now it's funny where our guys can still do the banter, but still focus on an at bat or play defense and still make plays. That's a special skill set.
Is Gavin Lux in the lineup today, or are you going to wait another day?
I think we're going to wait another day. So I don't see it. So I think tomorrow, he'll be in there tomorrow. Just to give him a couple of days, get his legs under him, take some batting practice and some grounders.
Joe Kelly had mentioned that he really felt he had an opportunity in this COVID period when throwing against his net to be able to use, two fingers to be able to come off of that fastball for him. What are you seeing as far as that? He said, last year a lot of it was just one finger, didn't have the command, and he feels a lot better with that particular pitch, being able to throw those four seamers.
Yeah, it's pitchers always trying to find what works best, and sometimes it changes and evolves. And it's just good to see that Joe took the time away, working with him in his net and trying to figure out what feels comfortable, what works. And then now when you go to a mound and see that the command is still there or even better, the characteristics just as good, if not better. So those are very good things.
Thank you, Dave.
Yeah.
Next question comes to us from Clint Macias. Go ahead, Clint.
Hey, Dave. We saw some changes at Dodger Stadium yesterday in that batter's eye area. Just kind of what do the hitters think about those little changes, and what can we expect going forward?
Yeah, I think that I guess that no news is good news as far as from the hitters. You didn't hear any complaining, and I think that, putting the tarps on both sides, I think that certainly helped the situation, because even Alex Wood's a guy that kind of comes out really out there from the first base side. And so the right-handed hitter at times, that crossfire is a tough visual. So I think that's definitely a good step in the right direction. Just kind of speaks to the continuity with the organization and the players.
Anything else they're expecting to implement before opening day?
I think, potentially there was a little bit of a higher gloss paint. And so from what I've heard, it's more of going to be a matte finish, but I don't know if that's 100% done, just to kind of meet that background paint as well.
Great. Thanks, Dave.
Yeah.
Our next question is from Jorge Castillo. Go ahead, Jorge.
Hey, Dave, just a daily question. Has anybody joined the team who wasn't with the team before?
So today we're going to try to get Cartaya over here to back up Austin. So Austin's going to catch 4 or 5 innings, and then we'll try to get Cartaya over here to piggyback him. But that'll be the only new addition for today.
How many guys do you have at that satellite camp on a daily basis right now?
It kind of changes from day to day in the sense of, we bring some guys over, but I think as far as that working group, it's under 10 as we speak, but right around that number.
And just with Lux, do you guys have to handle him any differently? He's a young kid, right? The idea that he hasn't been around the team, he might have like less than 2 weeks to prepare for the season. How do you handle him going into the season with so little prep?
Yeah, I think with Gavin, it's more of you try to ramp him up in a safe way as far as getting him at bats and conditioning the grounders and see where it takes us. And I really don't know, and I don't even know if Gavin knows, as far as this short of a time of this window, how it looks in 2 weeks. But we're going to do everything we can to get him ready, and he's been feeling confident and ready to go.
Thanks.
Yep.
Next question is from Robert Morales. Go ahead, Robert.
Sorry about that, Dave. I'm having trouble with my computer. Dave, under the circumstances in which we're all currently living, with meaning the coronavirus pandemic, as well as the focus on the racial injustice going on out there, how much more of a mentor or counselor to your players have you become this year?
I'd like to think that, I fit that role, my time here, but obviously, the issues have heightened. But I think that for me, Robert, it's more of kind of the way I live and the things that come out of my mouth, that players, coaches, everyone's in tune with what everyone's saying. And, I like to speak intelligently and honestly, and our players do a good job of asking the right questions and talking amongst themselves. But I'd like to think I do it the right way.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Next question is from LT Willis. Go ahead, LT.
Coach, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Because now there's only 60 games today in the league, do you believe that we'll see more pitchers pitching more innings or more complete games throughout the season?
Early on, I don't think so, LT. I think that kind of ratio, what it's been the last couple years, and I think there's been a decline in complete games. I think that it'll kind of be similar. Certainly early on, I don't see any complete games as far as the shorter ramp-up time frame. You're also dealing with expanded rosters, so potentially more pitchers on your roster. So managers, I think across the league are more matchup minded. So I don't see it increasing at all.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Alana, go ahead.
Dave, Dustin May had mentioned that in this COVID period, he really focused on working on his changeup as well as his curveball to complement his fastball and his cutter. Was that something that you had impressed upon him, and where do you think he is in the development of those two particular pitches?
It's coming. The curveball was good his last outing, and I'm anxious to see what it looks like today. The changeup, again, it's a field pitch. But I think for Dustin, it's just it's something that he and the pitching coaches have talked about. And for the most part, everything Dustin throws is hard. It's 94, 97, 98. And so you do need to have something to front back hitters. And the breaking ball, the changeup can do that. And so I just appreciate his openness. And, he's a good pitcher right now. But to have a couple other weapons in his bag is just going to make him lethal.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Next question is from Ron Cervanka. Ron, go ahead.
Yeah, Doc, in talking with Austin, he said that he's not been taking any reps at any other positions. Is that a long-term plan where he's just going to be behind the plate, or could that change?
Certainly anything can change, but with the roster where we have it, we have a lot of guys, literally a handful of guys that can play second base, and really the only viable spot for Austin outside of behind the plate is second base. So for me, I think right now it's just to kind of keep him back there, and him and Will kind of share time.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right. Next question from. Jorge Castillo. Go ahead, Jorge.
Okay. All right, thanks. Dave, Ramos and Gonsolin, is there a schedule for them in terms of getting into a game?
I think AJ is going to throw another pen, and I know Tony is as well. So we don't have and once they come out of that pen, then we'll figure out where they're at, how they feel, and when we can get them in a game. I think that. Yeah, I can't tell you right now who's going to be in there first or which day.